Alright guys, so this is for LMA subscribers only, and this video is sorely needed. People need some instruction on how to use the LMA parameter library. So I wanted to take a quick minute and show you guys exactly what to do step by step. We're not going to be jumping around, we're going to do this in real time. So if we open Chrome here and we go to the Laser Master Academy, it's masters.lasereverything.net, and we check topics. We can find the download section right here, and we'll click that. And in a second it'll load, and we have a few downloads. The first thing we're going to check out is the EasyCAD 2 Community Edition, which I recommend everybody on EasyCAD 2 use. We also are going to need our fiber laser parameter library. So let's download the EasyCAD 2 Community Edition. So we'll download that, and that'll save right here. And then the fiber laser parameter library, this is not the download link. This just takes you to the downloads page. We actually have to scroll down, and there are instructions here if you want to read through those. But we'll go ahead and click this, and that will download the parameter library. These will save likely to our downloads folder. So here they are, 1, 2. And we'll just cut these, and we're going to paste them to the desktop so they're easy to find. And then we can close all this. We don't need any more of this here, so let's just get rid of all that. So we've got two folders here, the EasyCAD 2 Community Edition and the Fiber Laser Parameter Library. The EasyCAD 2 Community Edition is a copy of EasyCAD with an offline patch, so you can use it and save projects without being connected to the laser, without the laser being on. And it's also got some RAM fixes, so it works a little better than the ones that usually come from the manufacturer. It's also guaranteed virus-free. A lot of copies of EasyCAD will trigger antivirus software. This will not. So we've got that, and then we've got our fiber laser parameter library. Both of these are zipped. You can see they have the little zipper on them. They're .zip folders, which means they're compressed. While EasyCAD will run from inside the compressed folder, you will not be able to save settings, and things just won't work quite right. So always make sure that your EasyCAD installation is not compressed when you're trying to run it. So we'll go ahead and we're just going to extract both of these. So I'm going to right click extract, and we'll just hit OK, and that's going to go ahead and extract. That's Windows 11. If you're on Windows 10, we'll do this with the parameter library. The Windows 10 menu looks a little more like this. You can just click extract all and hit extract, and it's going to extract that into that folder there. So now we've got our two folders here. So this is a brand new copy of the Community Edition. There's no parameter library installed. Here's our EasyCAD 2 executable, and we're going to need the param folder in order to install our library. Inside the parameter library folder, there's a few different things. There's read me seriously. People should read this. It's the same instructions included on the article, but people don't like reading, so this usually goes unread. But again, all of these instructions are written out for you, so you can follow them step by step. And then we have three different versions of the parameter library. The first is just a PDF. It's made to be printed. It's in landscape orientation, so it's easy to read. But you can't make any changes to this. You cannot edit or change the PDF version of this file, so we don't really want to use that right now. The other one is the param folder. This contains markparam.lib and userparam, which is an INI file. These two, if you have a 30-watt laser with a 110 lens, that's what this library was built around, a 30-watt fiber laser with a 110 millimeter lens. If you have that exact setup, you can simply copy these, and then in your EasyCAD installation, open the param folder, delete the two that are in there, and paste them in. Just like that. So once that's done, if we launch EasyCAD 2, which, let's see, where's our executable? Here it is. If we launch EasyCAD 2 now, and we uncheck use default and select param from library, the library is in there. But all of the settings are for the, again, 30-watt laser with the 110 lens. Okay, now if you don't want to enter each and every parameter by hand after converting, and we'll talk about converting in a second. You can load the parameter library in this way, the way that we just did it, and then you can edit a setting. So, we'll come back to that in a minute, but they're in there now. So the other thing that I wanted to show you is in our parameter library here, we also have this Excel file. This is what most people are going to be using. The Excel file does nothing to these, okay? So you can't use the Excel file to change the param files. There's no easy way to convert and import. You're either going to have to convert your settings and then manually enter them one by one into EasyCAD, or you're going to have to convert your settings and then reference the converted settings to make changes inside EasyCAD. So we'll do the first way first. So if we open this, it's going to go ahead and open up in Microsoft Excel. If you don't have Microsoft Excel or you don't have Office, you can also open this for free in Google Sheets. And I'll show you how to do that right now. So if we just go to sheets.google.com, and it just requires that you have a Google account, which is free. Just sign up for a Gmail email or whatever. It doesn't cost anything. We'll open a blank Excel spreadsheet here, and then we can go to File, Import, and once we're in this Import a File area, we can click Upload and select a file, and we're going to come into our Fiber Laser Parameter folder, and we're going to select that Microsoft Excel file and hit Open. This will read that fine. Everything works. So we'll just hit Import Data, and it'll load right up. All right. So that's how you access this file. And the nice thing about this is it includes a built-in parameter converter for you. Up here at the top, we've got these two green fields, My Lens and My Wattage. So you just put in the lens that you plan on using. So we would say maybe we have a 200 millimeter lens. And then our wattage, maybe we have a 50 watt laser, okay? And that's just going to change your power column here. That's not going to affect your speed or frequency. For some combinations, like let's say we have the EM Smart, right? We have a 25 watt laser. Sometimes you will see that your power is over 100%. And in those cases, what you need to do is you need to actually set this somewhere between 90 and 100, and then you're going to have to come in and start playing with speeds. It's a little guess and check, but it'll get you in the right ballpark. Same thing with frequency. We don't really change frequency based on conversions. So if you have like a Raycus, for example, and you're trying to do this leather gentle setting at 200, and we have a low kilohertz, so maybe that's not a good example. But here, steel and needle general, the frequency is 190. If you have a Raycus and your max is 60, you're just going to want to set that to your max. There's no real good way to convert frequency right now. So you just want to set it as high as you can go, and you're going to have to play with the other settings to get that close. Again, it's just to get you in the ballpark. The parameter library does 80% of the work for you, but you have to do the last 20% yourself. There's only so much you can do. Let's just talk about these really quick. So we have the parameter name, so aluminum dark. If pass is X, you can set this to as many passes as you want without, as many passes as you want to get the depth that you require, okay? If it says 1, then it really only wants you to do 1. If it wants 2, then do 2. If it wants 8, do 8. But X means you can do as many as you want to get the depth that you need. Speed, pretty straightforward. It's your speed in millimeters per second. Power is your power value. And then frequency is your frequency value. We have a recommended hatch, so standard is unidirectional, right? And then to read this is your hatches. So hatch number 1, 45 degrees. Hatch number 2, negative 45 degrees. That's what most of these hatches are set to. You can also do hatch 1 at 45 degrees and then check cross hatch and then ignore hatch 2, and that'll work as well. Your line distance, 0.025 in this case. Sometimes it's 0.05, sometimes it's 0.1. So you just want to check your line distance. And then we have some notes. So if there are specific things you need to keep in mind for specific settings, we do have those notes in there for you as well. So once you add your lens and laser wattage, What you need to do now is we need to get these into EasyCAD somehow. So either you can do one of two things. So both are going to require EasyCAD. So we'll go ahead and open EasyCAD. And the first thing that you can choose to do is import the parameter library for the 30 watts and 110 like we did here, and then we can start making changes. So if we open aluminum dark, right, that was the one we were looking at before, so we'll hit OK and open that. 1500 speed, but here we can see it's 196 power, 45 frequency. So for this example, let's go ahead and just say we're using an appropriate wattage for a 200 millimeter lens, so 50, just so that we're not doing those overages. So 98 power, 45 frequency. Now this says 9045, so we're going to have to type in 98, and then we're going to come to select param from library again, save current as, and it's going to automatically assume we want to save over our current one, so we'll hit OK. Do you want to overwrite? And we'll hit OK. So we've overwritten aluminum dark, and we're going to have to do that for all of the settings that the converter converted for you. There's just no good other way to do it. It is manual. It does take some time, but I promise it takes a lot less time than actually trying to find all of these settings for yourself. So I understand that it's a pain in the butt, but EasyCAD just really doesn't support mass importing of converted parameters. There's no good way to handle that right now. That'll be better with Lightburn when Lightburn is released, but for now this is the way we have to do it. So that's the first way. The second thing you can do is you can just skip importing the parameter library at all. You don't even have to import this parameter library. You can just skip it. You'll start with a blank slate with nothing, and then you could just come in and fill this out. So we could add aluminum dark again. Pass, we'll just leave the loop count at 1. Speed 1500, power 98, frequency 45, and then we can go ahead and select param from library, save current param as, and then you would name it. So we would name this like aluminum dark and hit OK. And now aluminum dark is going to be in our settings list, and that's right there. There it is at the bottom. That's how you would go about adding those one by one manually without editing the files. So those are really the two options. Again, I know it's very manual, but you do have a reference. Some people don't even bother with the parameter library. Some people don't even mess with this. They just print out the PDF version of this or their edited, converted version of this document, and then just input them as they're running the machine. I mean, and you can do that too. You could, the first time that you need Copper General, you could type it in, use it, and then save it and kind of chip away at it over time instead of sitting and doing it all at once. That's kind of how that is handled. Let's see. I think that's about it. Note there are a lot of settings down here in the red, mostly plastics and some other weird materials that are experimental. And that's because fiber is not designed to do plastics. We bend the rules to do plastics. So if you're trying to get good results on plastics, this might be a good starting point for you. But please note a lot of these off-gas some nasty stuff. So you do want to be careful with that. And then the other thing I'd just like to remind everybody is that this is copyrighted material. This is how we fund the channel. This is how we make money so that we can continue to do this. I do this full time. I don't have a day job. So please, if you download this library, keep it to yourself. Don't share it with others. Everybody that is entitled to use this it has a membership with the LMA and supports the channel. So we're really grateful to you guys for helping us to support the channel and allow us to do this full time. And I want to keep doing that for you. And the best way is to keep this document to yourself. That doesn't mean you can't help somebody. If somebody needs help with like cutting aluminum, feel free to reference your document and give them these settings and help them, while they're trying to specifically cut aluminum. Just don't send them the file. Please keep the file to yourself, and perhaps even encourage people to support the channel so they can get access to this document and, continue to help the channel stay in business and allow us to continue sharing our information. So that's essentially how you install the parameter library. You know, a lot of people are going to find different ways to do that themselves. You know, what you want your workflow to be is going to be up to you. But I hope that helped you guys. Thanks so much for watching. Thank you so much for supporting the channel. And of course, if you have any questions for me, let me know. But we did just need to do kind of a quick video to show people how to get the library installed. So I really do hope this helps, and I will see you in the next episode. Thanks so much, guys. See you later.